Smooth Productions.
How did, if you can remember back then, when seeing that for the first time, how does that make you feel that you just saw this family, I guess several a week ago, and now your unit's coming up and you're seeing them all slaughtered? And I'm assuming looking men, women, and children.
Yes. Sickening. I mean, through the context of today, it's an accessory to murder.
That's a rather large burden to put on yourself, isn't
it? Yeah. But in the infantry, unlike what I've seen in a lot of civilian life, you are responsible for your actions and you are accountable for the things that you do and that you don't do. And we take those things very seriously.
And I'm assuming was there anger from yourself and your unit at that you were ordered to confiscate the weapons?
Yes, a couple of things happened when we went in that kind of changed the mission. Now this was a NATO mission. Now NATO still exists today. NATO was a counter to the Soviet Union and the Warsaw Pact. The Warsaw Pact and the Soviet Union did not exist anymore. But because of the Russians' relationship with Serbia, which goes back centuries, basically that helped cause the First World War, when we were in Bosnia, the Russians insisted on being there to make sure that the Serbs were protected. Now, the Kosovo invasion, like I said, was a NATO mission. We did not invite the Russians, but the Russians showed up uninvited. And there was a tense time there when we were rolling in. It was us, the Italians, the Germans, the French, the Brits, and did I say Italians?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's the first time Germany deployed combat forces outside of its borders since World War II. Kind of significant. And because NATO was going in very close to Serbia and basically was going to annex off and make an independent republic out of Kosovo, the Russians weren't happy about that. So they drove all of their combat vehicles and their troops out of Bosnia, and a Brit tank column was sent to the airport at Pristina to seize it. What they found when they got there were Russian tanks standing in the entrance. So it halted the column. Anecdotally, as I understand it, the Supreme Allied Commander, who at the time was General Clark, he knew that the Russians were coming, and he wanted the British troop commander to park his vehicles on the airstrip to prevent Russian troop carriers from landing. But they didn't get there first. The Russians did, so he couldn't do it. And I don't know if there was a misunderstanding about the situation on the ground, but as I understand it, that British troop commander told the NATO commander, "No, sir, I am not starting World War III for you today." That may not be true, but it was widely believed at the time.
And did you, in your time in Kosovo, did you ever have any interactions with the Russians?
Oh, absolutely. We had no choice but to make room for him. And, oh, I just had a memory. Okay. The Kosovars did not like the Russians. The Kosovars threw rocks at the Russians. The Russians were mad because they couldn't shoot them, of course. So what the compromise was, I would have to send out my men 2 at a time to ride on the Russian vehicles so the Kosovars would not throw rocks at them. I'm not kidding.
that I guess that's a funny little anecdote there, in a situation like that, and what you described there, honestly sounds like what honestly both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are proposing for safe zones, safe areas in Syria for Syrians, and what has been missed by several moderators now.
Yes.
Is that to have a safe zone, it's different than a no-fly zone. You're going to have troops on the ground, and those troops have to come from somewhere. And no one has asked Hillary Clinton. No one asked Tim Kaine or Mike Pence. Where are these troops going to come from? Do you want them all to be Americans, or how do you have a plan to get all these troops together to secure these safe zones? And when you look at that situation, does that alarm you?
Yes, because we were talking about how we were looking at our deployment on the ground just a little while ago, and everything I've said up between then and now, the stories, it was all part of the frustration because we didn't have a clear plan on how to accomplish the mission. The what was mission successful was unclear, and it always seemed to change, and we were constantly blaming the White House. Now, this was also when the impeachment and the trial was going on, and it is documented that Bill did would use the military to get into the news whenever something was going to break, resulting to the impeachment. We felt like we were puppets. We felt that he wasn't an effective commander-in-chief. We didn't like him. And we were like, it was like we were sent there to do a job, and then as soon as we got there, they tied our hands behind our back, and we were limited. It was extraordinarily frustrating, and I saw the same thing with the Afghanistan invasion, the same thing with the Iraq invasion, and if we do Syria or anything else, it's like there's a plan to go in and then just to fight, but no end state. It's like we're set up for eternal war because being a war profiteer is no longer a bad thing. Somehow that happened.
And with your, I remember when we spoke first, you mentioned this was around the time there was a story that you told me on a carrier where you saw Bernie Sanders' name and you were already familiar with him. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I grew up in the 80s, and that was when the fairness doctrine was in effect, and there were journalists on the nightly news. So every once in a while in the 80s, Tom Brokaw or somebody would do a story about the oddity of the socialist mayor of Burlington, Vermont. And I thought that was kind of it was a memorable thing. Years later, when we were doing our train up to go do the Kosovo invasion, we had some downtime one night. We're sitting in the barracks, and basically my boys were having a grape session. We were just down there. Why do we have to go back? How come they don't send the 18th Infantry? Why has it always got to be us? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, because a lot of these guys had been to Bosnia, 2 or 3 times, had been to Macedonia twice, and now we're going to another country in the Balkans. And why does it have to be us? We're going to miss Oktoberfest. We want to stay in Germany and party. Being that I had a bachelor's degree, I had to go and try to explain the geopolitical reasons about what was going on there, the long-standing strife between Muslims and Christians, and I had bothered to pick up a copy of the Stars and Stripes that had the the vote totals from Congress. And I normally would just look to see, Democrat, Republican, who voted yes, who voted no. And then, the independent who voted yes. And I even told my platoon that even that wacky socialist congressman from Vermont thinks that genocide is bad and is calling on us to stop it. So I've known about Bernie for. I'm not a new fan, to say the least.